Yo, what's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Michael Zeely. How you
Good
doing,
morning.
Zeely?
Pretty good. Chilling.
Yeah, we're gonna play some Pokemon cards today. Sorry for the lapse in my stream schedule yesterday. Had an unexpected cancellation for Tabletop Day, and the Pokemon TCG Live was undergoing maintenance, so I couldn't just,
You
yeah,
gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah. So. It's all good, though. We've got Michael Zeely in the house today. We're going to do the stream that we were going to do yesterday, but today. And today, we have got some wonderful decks from the second EX era, or I guess as you may want to call it, the first ever capital EX era. Now, you played through this time. I played through this time. We remember the impact of these cards. What was it like when Mewtwo EX came out?
It was the format was like a complete 180. Before Next Destinies came out, every single deck just so like that was City Championship 2011. You had single prizers. You were taking 6 prize cards with 6 knockouts, kind of like Gym Leader Challenge now. But then as soon as Next Destinies came out, every single deck was built around this Mewtwo card. You had Electric, Celebi Prime, just you were trying to get quick knockouts on basic Pokemon, and then if your opponent was able to do that, you wanted to get your own Mewtwo out and just start swinging back at that, because the 2 prize cards, you only need 3 knockouts with that. And most decks were playing 3 to 4 Mewtwo's, so it was, everyone joked back then, Mewtwo Wars. It completely changed the game.
It really did. And back during this time, you could attack on the first turn of the game going first. So and you could play supporters going first. So there were no turn 1 rules. So yeah, and Mewtwo, regular art Mewtwo EX was like $55. As high as $80 a piece when this card was released, and it's because every single deck played 2 of them.
Yeah, and I mean,
often 3.
it was so strong, you needed one in your deck. So
You
even
needed
decks
one,
that were
yeah.
meant to beat Mewtwo still ran one.
You have to, because the best counter to Mewtwo was Mewtwo, as Mewtwo EX is weak to Psychic, and its X-Ball attack does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to both Mewtwo and the defending Pokemon. So it doesn't seem like a lot. I mean, when you look at this card from like a modern lens, you're like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, it was actually really funny. I was talking to Natalie about it. There's Paldean Tauros and Paldea Evolved that is like functionally the same as Reshiram from Black and White. And it's just funny. One was like one of the best decks in format, and now it's just an uncommon. So seeing the attack on Mewtwo like that compared to now, it's not that good. But back then, it was insane.
You figure, I think the closest point of comparison would be like, not even like if you dropped Mewtwo EX into like Gym Leader Challenge, but like it was even more crazy than that, because the single prize cards have also been power creeped quite a bit over the course of the last decade. I mean, Zeely and I were joking right before the stream started here. These cards are almost teenagers. I mean, they're old. Like Mewtwo EX 2012. It's almost 2024. Like this card's like 11 years old right now, which is pretty crazy. And it just the single prize Pokemon were all much smaller. And they did much less damage. So when you drop a card like Mewtwo EX into the game, where Mewtwo EX has more HP than every single other, Pokemon at the time. There are no Pokemon that have 170 HP, except for maybe there's like some bad Wailord or something that might, from like
some stage 2 that
like maybe there's a bad Wailord that has like this much HP, but basically no basics even have even remotely this much HP, and no basics have ever had this much HP like in the history of the game. The only Pokemon that had come close to this amount of HP were your like stage 2 Pokemon EX from back in the day, which had maybe 150. So There really is nothing that compares as far as the HP goes. So Mewtwo could easily survive multiple hits from other Pokemon while dishing out knockouts as early as the first turn of the game, since all you had to do was slap a double colorless energy on this thing and get moving. And the flexibility of Mewtwo, the fact that it requires 2 colorless energy, meant that you could play Mewtwo in every single kind of deck. It didn't matter what kind of deck you were playing, didn't matter what kind of energy you were running, you could play Mewtwo in that deck, which is just part of what made it ubiquitous. Every single deck needed to play Mewtwo and needed to play a way to answer Mewtwo. Mewtwo is the best answer to Mewtwo. Mewtwo is the best answer to everything that wasn't Mewtwo. The whole format became Mewtwo. And then, not too long afterwards, we got Darkrai in the very next set, which resisted Psychic and was also a powerful card. Now, what do you recall about Darkrai when it came out, Sealy?
Like you were saying, resistant Psychic, very good. It could take a hit from Mewtwo very easily, because even with the 3 energy on the Darkrai and then 2 energy on Mewtwo, it's only doing 80 damage.
Yeah.
And then paired with Eviolite, Darkrai is one of the very few Pokemon that could take multiple hits from Mewtwo and survive. So it was just a very dominant card when that came out as well. And then paired with cards like Dark Patch, Sableye, Junk Arm, you're able to power it up in 1 or 2 turns. So it was just a very dominant card, and then you could also knock out Mewtwo's in 2 hits with it unless they had the Eviolite.
Right.
So it was just kind of back and forth between Darkrai and Mewtwo the entire time. It was, how can I power up my EX first before my opponent, and then win the prize war?
There was no tool removal, I don't think. Yeah, not until Dragons Exalted.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, that's when Tool Scrapper was printed. So there was no tool removal during this time, and there were no damage buffs other than Dark Claw, which came out in Dark Explorer. So that was specifically, just for Darkrai. So Darkrai could actually be doing 110 with Night Spear, but almost every deck opted to play Eviolite instead, because doing, decreasing damage dealt to you was just better overall than increasing the amount of damage that you dealt. And a lot of decks opted to play Plus Power as their damage buff, because you could use Plus Power as a way to fix Mewtwo math as well. If you have a Mewtwo with 2 energy on it and your opponent has a Mewtwo with 2 energy on it, a Plus Power will get you the knockout, increasing its its base X ball damage from 80 to 90, 90 times 2, 180, perfect knockout. So there's a lot of fun math stuff that happens in this format, and it's interesting. I mean, in some ways, this 2012 World Championship format that we're going to be showing off today is like a really turboed out kind of crazy format with Juniper. You've got Smeargle with the Portrait Pokepower, which allows you to check your opponent's hand and use a supporter card you find there as the ability. So you could play 2 supporters a turn.
Oh, yeah. It was fun, too, because you had to use the supporter card you found there. So if you portraited and you found a Juniper and you had good cards in your hand...
Yes. Right. You have to play. There's no option. It's not a may. You have to use a supporter if you find one in your opponent's hand. So you have to do it carefully. You could find an N, you could find a Juniper. Those are the 2 main draw supporters. I mean, almost every deck played those cards. Now, I see a lot of questions in the chat asking about when do XY cards come out. I mean, Versus Seeker, Yveltal EX, things like that. Those are all cards from the X and Y block. This is the black and white era. This is 2012. So X and Y was not even remotely out yet. This is actually the beginning of the black and white era. I mean, I'd say the middle beginning of the black and white era. This is sets, you had 3 sets. You had black and white, you had emerging powers, and you had noble victories, were the first 3 black and white sets, no Pokemon EX. Then you had noble or Next Destinies, which was set number 4, and Dark Explorers, which is set number 5. So to give you an idea, we're talking, this is you're smack dab in the middle of the black and white era with this World Championship format. And you have some carryover from the Heart Gold Soul Silver era. So you're not seeing any of those X and Y cards bleed in with the black and white cards yet. You're seeing Heart Gold Soul Silver cards like the Smeargle, like the Junk Arm. You're seeing cards like that like Lost Remover, which is actually kind of an insane card. They should reprint Lost Remover for real.
I would love that card.
Yeah, dude. What's up? What's up with Lost Remover? Yeah, bring back my dude Lost Remover. Just put a special energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon into the Lost Zone. This card should be a forever card, honestly. You should be able to send one of your opponent's special energy to the Lost Zone whenever you want. And also, I think this card would be sick as a reprint for Gym Leader Challenge as well, because then you would have, Enhanced Hammer and Lost Remover you can play in the same deck, which would be, I think that'd be sick. But anyways, in some ways, it's like a very kind of high velocity, turboed out format. You've got cards like Shaman and Smeargle, both of which are like really explosive cards. Smeargle's Portrait allowing you to copy a supporter card from your opponent's hand, and then you could still play your own supporter for turn. And then Shaman has the Celebration Wind Poke Power, which allows you to move energy from your board wherever you want when you play it from your hand to the bench. So if you've got all your energy on a Darkrai and you want to move that energy to Mewtwo to take a big knockout with Mewtwo, all you have to do is bench Shaman, Celebration Wind, move all that energy over, and you can do that. So it's really crazy in that regard, but there's no like Crobat V, Shaman EX, no Dedenne GX. There's no kind of draw equivalent, like that. There's no Pokemon that really like draw you cards when you play them or anything like that. There's Magnezone Prime, which didn't see any play. I mean, that fills your hand to 6. There's just not really that effect. Closest thing is this Empoleon, which is kind of like its own deck, with the diving draw ability, which allows you to discard a card from your hand and draw 2 cards. So like this was a single prize deck, but after playing this format some, you kind of realize like even Empoleon could survive during this format because its attack command attack only took 1 energy, so kind of like resistant to Mewtwo in some ways. But Mewtwo even still just ends up destroying Empoleon. Because you just get enough energy on Mewtwo, you're taking the 1-hit KOs anyway, and other decks just have a really tough time keeping up with that. Now, another thing, since last we saw you, Zealy, we have been to Japan and back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so how was your experience in Japan?
It was incredible. I was watching your video over last night or 2 nights ago, and it was a trip of a lifetime. It was very hot and humid.
It was.
It's like 65 degrees outside today. It was beautiful. Weather aside in Japan, just insane trip. Had so much fun. I was showing my mom the other day all the stuff I bought. I can't even describe it. It was just one of those trips.
Trip of a lifetime. Yeah.
Very busy, like on our feet the entire time. I went to bed tired every night, but I would go back again for sure. Maybe during the fall or the spring, but there's just so much to do.
I think that was like one of my biggest takeaways too, is like I just have to go back. Like I can't, it was a trip of a lifetime. It was an incredible experience, but there's still so much more that I feel compelled to explore there, and just the difference in perspective and culture and the way everything works over there, I think was such a refreshing break from everything that I experience here in America, that I was like, I need to like make that a point to go. I need to go visit there and experience that, every so often, just to kind of get a refresher and a break from this. And also I feel like there's part of me that just kind of exists in Japan, having lived there as a child. It's like I felt like when I returned there, I was like, dang, this is like, I've been missing this my whole life without knowing exactly what I was missing. Like I didn't really know, but like having some of my most formative years happen in Japan when I was a kid, it definitely felt like a really kind of interesting homecoming in some ways, going back, and that was just really special as well. And it's also just where Pokemon.
That was the part that got me with it. Was I remember back in like 2009, I'd go online every day and I'd see the Pokemon merchandise I really wanted. I'm like, I really want to go to the Pokemon Center one day. Like, I love Pokemon. I want to go where Pokemon was born. I want to experience it, and we were able to do that. You would just walk anywhere in Japan, somebody would have a Pikachu shirt on or like a Pikachu hat, and it wasn't weird.
Nah, it's just very normal part of yeah, the gaming culture over there was just really sick, and it was really cool how hype people got for those kinds of things. It just was it was really awesome.
I don't know about you, like I felt really appreciated there.
Oh yeah.
Like just here you tell people you play Pokemon, they're like okay. Where and then you like go over there. Someone came up to us while we were testing and was like, "Oh, are you competing? Like, good luck!" and gave us Pikachu cards.
Oh yeah, that was so fun. Oh, that was so cool. Yeah. Now we've got all these different decks from the World Championships. We've got Mewtwo Electric, we've got Empoleon, we've got John Roberts' National Championship winning Kling Klang deck. I think this is the deck that Jason Klasinski played at Nationals, Scizor, or maybe even World Scizor, Vileplume, Darkrai, Mewtwo, Darkrai, Hammers, or Hammer Time, Entei, CMT. Wow. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, this is like my first year really playing the game competitively was this. Mewtwo Electric was my favorite deck at the time. What deck's kind of calling to you right now? What strategies do you remember playing from this time when you were?
So I really like CMT
Yeah.
because, as you mentioned, you could do anything on the first turn. So you just get the. I actually played this at Nationals in 2012. So like with the Celebi, you're able to get energy onto your Mewtwo's very quickly with Forest Breath. You have Tornadus EX to resist Terrakion because a lot of decks at that time played Terrakion for the Darkrai. So it's just a very quick deck. One of the fun parts of it was Dual Ball.
Let's see if you can't move more central and see if it can't get the focus to work there. I know you're competing with that light in the background. No? All right. I'm going to go move the camera because I think it just wants to autofocus onto the light. So you keep talking.
So with Dual Ball, games were really make or break. If you could hit one heads, you're chilling, but a lot of the times you'd flip two tails, and it was basically like not having a good time there. So I really like this deck in that it lets you just go very quickly, overpower your opponent very quickly. Against like the Empoleon deck, you just Forest Breath, attach double colorless energy to your Mewtwo. You're dealing 60 damage turn one into those Piplups, and they don't have time to build up. So I like that deck a lot. I was a kid when it came out. I think I was 15 in 2012, and I could not afford the Darkrai, so I just never played it.
I was funny enough. I was like 22, maybe 2012. I was like 23. Yeah, and I also couldn't afford the Mewtwo's because I was just broke. But I remember the biggest thing that I couldn't afford when I was. I think I got my hands on a couple of Mewtwo's. Like I somehow, was able to finesse that. But like. The major thing I couldn't afford early on was Pokemon catchers.
Yeah, those things were what, like $15, $20?
$20 a piece. Yeah, that was really tough, and every deck needed them. That was like when I first started playing. I remember being like, dang, how in the world am I supposed to afford those cards?
I remember I bought a booster box of Emerging Powers from Tom Dolezal back in 2011, and I ripped 4 of the catchers out of the box, which like at the time, that was insane.
Well, yeah, because you're averaging 2 per box usually.
So I got 4 of them, and I was like, oh, I'm chilling. But yeah, Pokemon
insane.
Catcher was like the real gatekeeper back then, and then you got the Mewtwo's and Darkrai's, and kind of had to deal with that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, what deck's calling you for game 1, Zeely?
I'll do CMT.
CMT. Okay, CMT. I remember trying like a Hammer Time deck one time when I was like playing during this time, and I remember thinking that it was the worst deck I'd ever played. I was like, how is anybody supposed to win with this deck? And I was so bad though at the time, and it's like because you had to use some sort of like discretion and strategy with like when to junk hunt and stuff like that, and I remember just like being like, dang, no, I just gotta go ham and attack. And
yeah, I mean, it's crazy now with a lot of decks. You kind of just want to go as fast as possible, burn your resources.
Yeah.
Like, you'll Squawkabilly, play research, and then just do all this stuff in turn one. Whereas back then, you kind of had to like watch your resources. It was a little better with Junk Arm in format to get those back, but
Junk Arm's so crazy.
I mean, even just regular Pokemon Catcher too. Just like, and then I was thinking about it while you were talking about it. Dark Patch back then, arguably one of the best cards in format. Dark
Yeah.
Patch right now,
Bro,
no one's playing that.
no one's playing. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, Dark Patch came out. There was never anything like it before. It was just like, wow, this is item-based energy acceleration. It's broken. All right, now I've never played this deck before. This is a Scizor Prime Vileplume deck. So Vileplume, it turns off item cards. That's what it does. All right, so nobody can play items while you got Vileplume in play. And then Scizor is another Heart Gold, Soul Silver era Pokemon. It's got a Pokebody that prevents all damage done to Scizor by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have special energy cards attached to them. So I think this could be an interesting matchup. Zealy's got a very fast deck. Oh my gosh, I've got Bad Terrakion in here. Holy moly. Bad Terrakion. Why is Bad Terrakion? And I've got good Terrakion.
Bad Terrakion hits through Darkrai with Eviolite.
Holy smokes, I guess it does it? Because Eviolite's after weakness and resistance, yeah. Oh, okay, I guess so. Cool. All right. Well, this is what I'm going to try and do. I've never played this deck before, so it should be interesting. And then we'll see if Zealy can run me off the table or not. I think this deck did okay at the World Championships. I'm pretty sure it got like a top 32. So it's got some legs. It's also just one of the things that just makes this format so unique is the blending of the Heart Gold, Soul Silver era cards with the big Pokémon EX. So I definitely want to. And your deck's got that too. I mean, you got the Celebi Prime, which is just so cool.
I mean, the crazy thing too is like a lot of players don't understand now how big of a shift it was from Triumphant to Black and White with the erratas and everything. They completely changed trainers and items. They errated a lot. I think they changed the first turn rules also when Black and White came out.
Did they?
I believe so, because I think
Because
that's
Black and White's got no turn 1 rules. Was there turn 1 rules during the Heart Gold, Soul Silver era?
I want to say it was.
Because you could definitely attack back then because like the Tyrogue donks, right?
I think that was because that was 2011, which I think was after Black and White came out.
Yeah, so I don't. A lot changed. I don't know exactly what changed, but a lot changed.
Yeah, 2011 Nationals was a good time with Tyrogues and Cleffas, and that was best of 1. So if you got donked, that was it.
Yes, it was. I definitely had. I didn't play at 2012 Nationals. 2013 Nationals. I was my first national championships, and I remember playing Blastoise, and I had a round where I think Tornadus just knocked out my Mewtwo turn 1, and that was it. Or my Tornadus knocked out my Squirtle turn 1, and that was it. And I lost. And I was like, okay, I didn't even get to play a turn, and now I get to wait till the next round. All right, would you? I guess. Okay.
Wasn't it?
You set up first.
Yeah, I think you set up first, and then
definitely-
it was like even or odds, right, back then?
No, you do
No?
heads or tails still. Yeah. But you definitely set up first. So let's do that. Cool. Is there any cards in that deck that you need to? Let's see. I'll pull up like pkmncards.com in case. I don't know if there's any Japanese cards in the deck or
I
anything.
don't believe so.
No. All right.
I didn't see any when I was going through.
All right. And check your mic a little bit. Just pull it a little bit away from your cheek. Yeah. You're good. Cool. All right. And it is game time. We'll set up first. This deck's broken.
I'll take heads, please.
Heads. Tails. I'll go first. Good luck. Draw. That's a great top deck for me. The Metal Energy, I've got a really solid opening hand. Pretty much all the basics that I want to see. I've got Scizor, Darkrai EX, which is pretty much here for its Dark Cloak ability, allowing my Pokemon to pivot in and out of the active spot, even if I have Vileplume active, right? Locking out abilities. Terrakion as well. I would like to find an Oddish if I can, and thankfully I can play Sage's Training on the first turn of the game going first. Sage's Training allows me to look at the top 5 cards of my deck, choose 2, put them into my hand, and I discard the others. Pokemon Communication is really good, and Vileplume is really good. I think I'll probably discard these other 3. That seems fine. It's a lot of energy to discard, but I'm chilling. I'll discard these. Oh, you put the... I don't know. It's weird. Do you think they eroded the supporters to not go next to your active? Because like during the Heart Gold Soul Silver era, they're
I believe so, because I think Juniper you discarded immediately.
You do. You definitely do. Yeah. I think they changed it. Yeah. And that's like some of the weird carryovers. Like during the Heart Gold Soul Silver era, you kept supporters next to the active. During the Black and White era, you discard them. So like, it was some of those kind of growing pains with the TCG that was happening there. Play Pokemon Communication, and I'll put Terrakion on top of my deck and take a look at what we have here. I'm really thankful that I've got the Virizion in the active spot. It's got the double draw attack, which will allow me to draw 2 cards for 1 energy. I'm just looking for Oddish. And let's see, there's some rare candies in here too. Good. Sweet. With Pokemon Communication, I'll grab Oddish. And I'll put it onto my bench. Bench Scizor and Darkrai EX. Attach Metal Energy to Virizion. And double draw.
Draw for turn. Play down Celebi. Mewtwo. Attach to Mewtwo. I think I'll play down the... No, I'll hold it. I'll play N.
Dude, I had turn 2 rare candy Vileplume. Killing me, dude. I was going to start leaf walloping.
Cool. So I get 6, you get 6.
Yep.
I will use Smeargle's ability Portrait to look at your hand, choose the supporter card I find there, and use it as the effect of Pokepower. That's a pretty bad hand for you, so I think I'll use the Sage. 3, 4. Okay, these are all really bad. I'll keep the Mewtwo and the Tornadus, and I'll discard the Mewtwo, Professor Oak's Theory, and Junk Arm. And I don't have anything else that I can do at the moment, so I will play down Tornadus and I will pass to you.
Sweet. Draw. Ooh, the top deck rare candy, okay, is pretty good. I was definitely going to just send the hand with N, but now that I've got rare candy, I think I want to dig a little bit with Sage's Training. So I'll Sage's Training again. I'm a glutton for punishment. What can I say? Top 5 cards. Oof, those are pretty. That's fine. You know, nothing terribly exciting there. I'll discard Seeker and 2 Pokemon Collectors. Bench Virizion. Attach Prism Energy to Darkrai. Huh. Yeah, that's fine. That only works on basics. Yep. Attach Prism Energy to Darkrai EX, and I'll double draw.
Draw for turn. I'll attach Eviolite to the Mewtwo.
And take the Smeargle with it.
I know you still have the N in there, so I'll just Portrait.
You've got Twins, N, and Collector.
I'll use the N.
Okay. There's a lot of Nning that happens back during this time. I mean, pretty much, if you have a hand, you pretty much never get to keep it.
I'm pretty sure every deck played 4, right?
Yes, like every deck played 4. And then with Smeargle, you weren't only getting end by your opponent's end, you were also getting end by your own ends, which then you could play the following turn to end again. So it just, your hand was constantly getting shuffled back.
Attached to me too. I'll Pokemon Catcher up the Oddish.
The fact that that doesn't require a flip or anything is really wild.
Professor Oak's new theory.
Leave my Oddish alone. So what are you looking for off this Professor Oak's new theory?
I'm hoping to hit a Switch or a Sky Arrow Bridge, which would allow me to retreat my Smeargle for free and then knock out your Oddish with my Mewtwo.
I can't believe Oddish has only got 40 hit points. Such a small little dude.
I mean, when you look at Vileplume, thankfully it doesn't have more. All right, 6 cards. Switch.
No.
Play down Eviolite on Tornadus. Yeah, I'll play Eviolite on Tornadus. You're not going to item lock me next turn, so I will X-Ball for knockout.
Oddish goes down. Zealy takes a prize. I'll promote Darkrai EX, who has free retreats with the Dark Cloak ability. Draw. Huh. Evolve Scyther into Scizor. Sage's Training. Oh boy. That's fine. Oh, this is going to be tough, huh? Uh-huh. Interesting. Okay. I'll discard these. Bench Scyther. Attach Prism Energy to Darkrai EX and retreat into Virizion. And double draw.
Draw for turn. I'll play Random Receiver. Look at the top card of my deck until I find a supporter card. Professor Juniper.
You can see how valuable that turn 2 Vileplume would have been for me.
Yes, yes.
And then it got end away.
I'll attach Grass to the Mewtwo. And then plus power.
Doesn't actually attach during this time.
Oh, I was thinking of the Heart Gold Soul Silver one.
Which is important because you could junk arm
yes.
for it.
Cool. So plus power. And then I'll play Junk Arm to discard those two for the Pokemon catcher to bring up the Darkrai.
Yo, chill.
And then Professor Juniper to draw 7.
Oh, you're doing too much.
And then I will... Don't think there's anything else that I want to do. So I will X-Ball for 90 damage.
Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 110 with the plus power, minus 20, 90. Draw. Whew. Sheesh. It's a lot of pressure. 369 yeah, Shaman EX ain't doing nearly enough damage, that's for sure. Okay. And that doesn't have any double colorless energy on it yet. Silly's been careful to not waste any. I guess there's no way to get bonus attachments in. Okay. So just have to keep attaching. Attach Rainbow Energy to Scizor. Play N. And it's crazy that I'm using N and Zeely's only getting N to 5, even though it feels like he's wiping the floor with me right now. I really need to find an Oddish, but even then, with all the Pokemon catchers and the junk arms, the odds of Zeely being able to find another catcher for my Oddish are pretty high. I get 6 and you get 5. Bench Oddish and retreat Darkrai EX using Dark Cloak into Virizion. Double draw.
Draw for turn. I'm probably going to get item lock next turn, so I'll just play all those out of my hand. Dual Wall. Double Tails.
Classic.
Yep. Energy Search. I'll grab a grass. Now, I don't believe that deck plays Mewtwo, so I think I'm in the clear for just putting a bunch of energy on mine.
Probably.
And then energy retrieval,
That's so sick.
just for the fighting. Mewtwo. Attached to Mewtwo. And X-Ball for 80 damage.
Okay. Yeah, a turn where nothing devastating happens. That's so nice. Draw for turn. Okay. Now I've got Vileplume. I've got Vileplume in my hands now, but no rare candy. So I really want to dig for the rare candy. I've got both Sharon and Sage's Training as options. Sharon just draws 3 cards, and if you can believe that this deck unironically plays that card, I mean, sometimes just drawing 3 cards is busted, you know? But Sage's Training digs 5, so I really want to find it, so I'm going to do another Sage's Training. Absolutely killing me here. Killing me, man. It's fine, I guess. We'll discard these. And then I have to decide what I want to do for energy attachments. Don't have free retreats. But I could retreat. I could pay to retreat that energy. Doesn't feel good. I think I just keep it there. Yikes. Attach metal energy to Scizor and double draw.
Draw for turn. Attach grass energy. 30. I'll catch her up the Darkrai.
Okay.
I don't really want you seekering that. And then I will X-Ball for 100 damage for knockout.
Oh, yeah. All right. 2 prize cards. Darkrai EX goes down. Things are looking pretty bad, but there's still a chance. With N, anything can happen. Promote Virizion. Draw. All right. We've done it. I'll see if there's any more trainers that I want to play, any more items before I start item locking. Oof. It just feels like there are so many energy on the Mewtwo now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I was just, yeah, you know, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of, oh, man. That's tough. Okay. It's just a lot of energy on that Mewtwo, you know? If I hit you for 70, then I'd have to do 100 damage. Can't do that. He does 20 more damage for each metal energy attached to him. Your Mewtwo can easily lay waste to my Scizor. Huh. How about that? If I do 20 damage with Virizion, that seems bad. Why does this deck play Mewtwo? Bench Darkrai EX. And play Sharon. Evolve Scyther into Scizor. Leaf Wallop seems really bad. Attach Prism to Darkrai EX, and you know what? I'll play Rare Candy and evolve my Oddish into Vileplume. And then, let's see if I do 2, 4, plus 30, 70. I'm doing 50 damage. If I do 50 damage with Scizor, it's not quite enough. Yeah, this is really bad. All right, cool. I'll 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's, yep. I resist Psychic by 20. That's pretty good. I'll double draw.
Draw for turn. Attached Mewtwo. And X-Ball for knockout.
Okay, so Zeely's only got 2 prizes left. I've got item lock established. Promote Darkrai. And draw. The question is, can I actually... do enough to be able to kind of stop Michael from being able to win? Let's see. I could go for Dazzling Pollen and try to confuse the Mewtwo. Which is not great, considering you just retreat and then knock out my Vileplume, and then I really don't have anything going on, which is quite bad. Okay. Attach Metal Energy to Scizor. And 2, 4, 6, 8. And I'd be taking minus 2. I can't put too many energy on Scizor. You'll just knock it out in one hit. 2, 4. Huh. Isn't that something? Okay. I think 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. I think I'll Seeker. So you have to pick up a Pokemon on your bench, and I do too. I'll pick up Virizion.
Pick up Celebi.
Okay. And then that basically just frees up my bench a little bit, so I can bench Terrakion and use Celebration Wind to move Prism Energy and this Rainbow Energy to Terrakion and... Oh.
As I say, did you want to retreat first?
Yeah, man, hold on. I'll retreat Darkrai EX into Terrakion using Dark Cloak, and then play Shaman and use Celebration Wind to move my energy wherever I want. And I'll move Prism Energy and Rainbow Energy to Terrakion. I'll move this basic Metal Energy to Scizor. And then I'll retaliate for 70.
Draw for turn. Attached to Mewtwo. Play down Celebi. Play down Sky Arrow Bridge. And I'll Professor X New Theory.
Okay. Feels so bad to be playing against a Mewtwo without your own Mewtwo.
Oh yeah.
Like, see how much of a struggle this is? It's like nothing can compete with that.
Because you could have dealt with it like many turns ago if you had your own.
If I had my own, I could just Celebration Win on my own Mewtwo and be like, just get out of here. Yeah, its damage, it ramps up so fast. And you're not even using double colorless energy because you don't want to get stuck by red armor.
And then I'll X-Ball for knockout.
Okay. Terrakion goes down. I will promote Darkrai EX and
I think
draw.
you just promote the Shaman because it has free retreat with Sky Arrow.
You're so right.
Nope.
Thank you.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
and then did you just okay?
That was my draw
Cool.
turn. Promote Shaman and draw. Huh. Yeah. It's not looking good. I could attach an energy to Scizor and do like 2, 4, 6, 90 damage, minus 20. It's like I'm not getting that knockout with Scizor. If I put 3 energy on Scizor, you're going to one-hit KO it. So I think you got this one. There's nothing really I could do. End of 1 wasn't going to do anything. That Mewtwo was just running away with it. Now, I think I can win, but I definitely need to get started a little stronger than that.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You need to hope I get a quick knockout on something, and you have the twins in hand immediately. And
Yes, just go,
Get going.
right? Yes. Felt like, you definitely played that well. You didn't use any double colorless energy. You didn't give me any chance to stick you with Scizor and its red armor Pokebody. But I did almost have the turn 2 Vileplume. So I think let's try this again and see if I can't slow down your strategy a little bit this time. Yeah, that time, though, I think we got to see just the pure power of Mewtwo. You get Mewtwo up, you put energy on it, you start swinging. I was getting flashbacks to 2012.
oh yeah.
So many games ended that way. It really made the game. I'm not going to lie. 2012 was a great time to start playing competitively because that was a competitive strategy. Was just making your Mewtwo really big.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I didn't have to be good to do that. I just...
No, you're just like, can I get my Celebes or my Electrics? Okay.
All right, I'm just going to make my Mewtwo really big, and if they knock out that one, I'm going to make another Mewtwo really big. And it definitely made the game very linear and kind of easy to navigate.
I think you could definitely pinpoint 2012 with Mewtwo, like definitely the beginning of the end of Pokemon as we knew it at the time.
They definitely were changing. They were changing the pace and the overall feel of the game for better or for worse at that time with the Black and White era. They definitely did some things, like they made the game more exciting and easily accessible for new audiences, I think, which is part of their game plan, but they definitely also simplified some things. But the game always goes through ebbs and flows like that, and has ups and downs as far as like it's how complicated it is. And I think we're kind of even seeing that now. The Sword and Shield era is one of the most simplistic eras in the recent history of the Pokemon TCG, but now the Scarlet and Violet era is getting a little bit
we're getting there.
Yeah.
Would you like first or second?
I'll go first. Okay. Looks good.
I'm hoping I could get the Celebi Prime start.
I know, you didn't even get to Force Breath one time in that game.
No.
All you did was manually attach to Mewtwo, and it was enough.
Another one.
Okay.
Just throwing all these cards around, sorry.
It's all good.
Hopefully you could get a collector turn 1, and then you'll be chilling, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's not what I got going on right now, but
You have 3 draws, actually.
I'm going to see so many cards. That's basically a Sharon, which I play in this deck.
That's so sick.
It's like you play Sharon because you can't play 6 Sages trainings.
Yeah, the supporter cards at that time, honestly, like, not anything crazy.
No, but you had to play more than just Juniper and N because you didn't have any other way to draw. I'll take my 2. Good luck. Celebi start. Nice. Draw. Okay. We've got a hand with a lot of energy in it. Very awkward hand. I've got 2 Seeker. N. It feels like this is a hand you just N away. But I have the rare candy. No, you N this hand away. Yeah. Attach Rainbow Energy. No, not Rainbow. We want to do Prism. Attach Prism Energy to Terrakion. Bench Scyther. And N.
My hand was so good.
Dual Ball, Ponce.
Sky Arrow.
Had it all, dude. Had it all. Really aiming for the quick Vileplume this game. See if we can't find an oddish or at least a collector off this N. That would be nice. Terrakion's not the ideal starter, but thanks to Darkrai EX, I can easily pivot it with the Dark Cloak Poké Power or ability. We each get 6. Okay. Bench Virizion and Oddish. Pass to you.
Draw for turn. Mewtwo. I don't think I want any of these. What else could I get? I'll just Juniper.
See ya.
For 7. I will use Celebi's Forest Breath Poke Power to attach Grass Energy to my Mewtwo.
Let me do that one more time. I was on the other camera.
Yeah. I'll use Celebri's Forest Breath Poke Power to attach Grass Energy to the Mewtwo. I will attach a double Colorless Energy for turn. Play down Plus Power.
Whew.
And then I will play down Tornadus. Use Switch.
Sheesh.
And I will X-Ball for 90 damage.
Yeah, you will, huh? That's a lot of pressure. My goodness, that's crazy. Draw. I've got Sharon. Draw 3. Okay. Let's go. Pokemon Communication. Shaman. And with Pokemon Communication, I'll grab Vileplume. Put it into my hands. Rare Candy Oddish into Vileplume, so no more item cards. Yeesh. Evolve Scyther into Scizor. Attach Metal Energy to Scizor. And pass to you.
Draw for turn. Professor Oak's New Theory.
Yep. I got the Vileplume up. That's very good. However,
the rest of it not looking too...
I don't have a lot going on. But still, the Mewtwo does have a double colorless energy on it. So maybe Scizor's red armor Pokebody will get to play a role in this game.
Attach double Colorless Energy to Tornadus. And I will X-Ball for knockout.
Okay. Terrakion goes down. I see Zeely's board has a lot of special energy on it, so I'm going to promote Scizor. Draw. Pokemon Collector, which allows me to search my deck for 3 basic Pokemon and put them into my hand. I definitely want a Darkrai, a Shaman, and probably an Oddish. I think those are the 3 that I really want, so I'll get Shaman, Darkrai EX, and Oddish. What language is that?
I think German.
German. Cool. With Collector, I'll get Shaman, Darkrai, and Oddish. Put those into my hand. It's crazy that there was no limitation on getting Pokemon EX or anything with Pokemon Collector. You could just go get them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's because Pokemon EX didn't exist when that card was printed, and it wasn't forward compatible or anything. It's not like, oh, Pokemon without a rule box or Pokemon with less than 100 HP. Like, none of that. You just go get the most powerful Pokemon in your deck. No problem.
It reminds me of Bridget with like GX Pokemon.
Yeah. Okay. Bench Darkrai. And I guess I don't even need...
I think you just save the bench space until...
Yeah.
Because you can, like, theoretically, the plays you put down... You could put down the Oddish, and then if you get, like, a Seeker later, you can, like, kind of pop off. But
items. Right, that's the thought. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, I'll save everything else. Rainbow Energy to Scizor. And I'll use Metal Scissors for 70 damage.
Draw for turn. Play down Sky Arrow Bridge. Can't use any of these trainer cards, so I will Professor Juniper.
Oof. Gotta keep digging.
Play down Smeargle. Play down Terrakion. Attach to Terrakion. And let's see. There's no way I could get through that Pokebody. So I will retreat the Mewtwo. And Force Breath to the Terrakion. And then I will pass to you.
Okay. Seems like, yeah, kind of just trying to build a different attacker makes sense since red armor is going to protect me from those Pokemon with double colorless energy on them. Draw. Ooh, nice. Sage's Training off the top. I get to look at the top 5 cards of my deck. And I keep 2 and discard the rest. A card like this really makes you appreciate Colress's Experiment, which allows you to keep 3. Definitely keeping the energy and the Sage's Training. So I'll discard Oddish, Pokemon Communication, and Virizion. And you can see how once you get Vileplume's Allergy Flower Pokebody online, Sage's Training is really good as it allows you to just chew through your deck and get all the cards you can't play just out of the way so that your deck is just left with the good stuff. Attach. This is interesting. Yeah. Attach Prism Energy to Darkrai EX and Metal Scissors for 70 damage in the knockouts.
I'll bring up Smeargle. Draw for turn. Portrait. Sage's Training. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think I'll keep the Mewtwo and a I think I'll keep the Mewtwo and a Fighting Energy, and I'll discard the double Carless, Pokemon Catcher, and Grass Energy. Put down Mewtwo. Attach Fighting Energy. Retreat the Smeargle with Sky Arrow Bridge, and then retaliate for 80 damage.
Yep. Just short of the knockout because of the special metal energy, which decreases your damage by 10. So I will hang on with just 10 HP left. Draw. Close one there, Scizor. I do have to watch out. The Track-In can knock out my Darkrai, so I don't exactly want to go attacking with Darkrai right now. Sage's Training. Okay. Ooh, Track-In's weak to grass. That's cool. Okay. I think I've got one energy in the hand. Track-In can do just 30 damage to finish this knockout next turn, so I want to preserve the Scizor if I can, which probably means retreating and using Leaf Wallop. The Track-In's got a retreat cost of 4, so it's kind of like up
Kind of
there.
stuck there, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's there, right? So I don't have to really worry about Zealy pivoting into anything else. I think just getting your energy attachments is really important in this deck. So I think I want to keep the Sharon and the special metal energy, and then I'll discard these 3. Always tough choices. Holy moly, dude. You've never thought of this play. Oh, holy smokes. This is crazy, bro. Oh, I got a better play than Leaf Wallop. All right, wait for it. You ready? Bench Shaman and use Celebration Wind to move some energy around. I'll move that one there. And that's it. Then I'll retreat for free using Dark Cloak into Shaman. And then oh boy, is that math making might? Yeah. Attach for turn to Shaman, and I'll use Energy Bloom for 60, and I heal 3 damage from each. I'll Energy Bloom for 60 with weakness, and then I remove 3 damage counters from each of my Pokemon that has any energy attached to it.
Sweet. Draw for turn. I will attach Fighting Energy to Track-In and Land Crush for knockout.
Dang, what the heck, bro? I didn't expect you to have the other basic fighting in the hands. It's messed up, dog. It's messed up. Promote Scizor. I was expecting you to do 10 damage because I resist fighting. All right, maybe that didn't pay out. Draw. Sharon to draw 3. That's cool. Bench Oddish. All right, you're doing 90 damage a turn now. That's kind of intimidating. Metal Scissors will do 70. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 minus 3, 5. 5 still a knockout. Ugh, that's a pain. Okay. This tracking is an issue. I wish this deck played Grass Energy so I could Synthesis. That would be cool. Really wasn't expecting you to knock that out, dude. I was not. How many cards in hand?
5.
5, huh? Okay. That's fine. I think I'll attach Rainbow Energy to Darkrai. Okay, that'll live. All right. I'll attach Rainbow Energy to Virizion. Retreat Scizor for free with Dark Cloak. And double draw.
Draw for turn. It's knocked out anyway. Yeah, my entire hand is filled with item cards.
Let's see it. You literally can't play a single one of those.
Yeah. One Sage. You played 3 Sages and 2 Charons, so Smeargle probably won't really do too much for me in this situation.
It's like, are you really going to retreat a 3 energy
Yeah.
bracket? Like, no.
Well, I mean, because he's going down regardless.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out what the best option is. It's probably just Land Crush for 90. Because then that prevents you from putting another rainbow on it, potentially. So I'll just Land Crush for 90.
Okay. Put me up to 100. Virizion hanging on with 10 hit points. Draw. Okay. Shaking and moving now. Things are happening. You want to see something cool? Let's see. Seeker. Put the Vileplume into my hands. Probably shouldn't have just given him the double colorless for free. That's fine. All right, now I've got Pokemon Communication, which I can play, and I'll communicate away my unknown. For Celebration Wind Shaman. I think that play was probably my undoing. I really needed to not do that. No, I'm chilling. Am I? I don't know. I'll get Shaman. And now that I've used that Pokemon Communication, I'll Rare Candy Oddish back into Vileplume. And then it's tough. Like, if I go in with Darkrai, it's just that Mewtwo does so much damage. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You're doing 100 damage with Mewtwo with just 3. With just the DCE. That's fine. That's totally fine. Okay. Because then you have to put the DCE on the Mewtwo, and then Scizor is still fine against you. So that's fine. Okay. Attach Rainbow Energy to Vileplume. Celebration Wind. No. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, he's got free retreat with Skyro. I'm fine. Okay, I can do it. Celebration Wind to move all 3 of these rainbow energies over to Darkrai. And then retreat for free with Sky Arrow Bridge. Okay. And then Night Spear for 90 damage and the knockouts. And I'll place 30 damage onto Mewtwo.
Draw for turn. And I'll use Portrait. I'll go with the Collector.
Okay.
Celebi, Trachean, Mewtwo. Instead of the Mewtwo, I'll get the Smeargle. Play out Trachean. Celebration Wind.
Whew. Oh, God! No! Oh, no! Oh, God, my heart.
Retreat. I would have loved to have found another basic energy, so that way I could go like through the Scizor.
Oh, no.
Probably just attach to the Tornadoes.
I did not see this coming.
And then I will retaliate for knockout.
Yeah, you will, won't you? Yeah, that is tough. Promote Shaman and draw. Okay. All right, I think I'm okay for a turn. This thing, I mean, he takes a lot of energy to retreat. You're probably just chilling with him in the active. You can't gust or anything. This is fine. Okay. Twins. I can only use twins if Zelia has more prizes taken than I do. So, twins is an insanely powerful supporter card. You can only play twins if you're losing on prizes, but it allows you to search your deck for any 2 cards you want and put them into your hand. I think I just want these special metal energies, and I'm just going to pile them onto my Scizor, and that's what we're going to do. I mean, every one of Zeely's attackers right now has special energy attached to it, so I think Scizor is the game plan. Put those 2 into my hand. Attach special metal energy to Scizor and retreat Shaman for free with the Sky Arrow Bridge. And I'll use Metal Scissors for 70 damage.
Draw for turn. Attach Grass to the Mewtwo EX. And definitely not worth it to do that. Cards in hand?
I've got 7.
7. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I want to end, because I have a bunch of grass energy left in my deck, and that would just, like, make the deck harder to find.
Filled with items.
Yeah. So I'll retaliate for nothing, and then your turn.
Draw. Ooh. It's pretty good. You're building up the Mewtwo, which I do have to worry about. I could potentially twins again. Thinking about kind of building up the Shaman to try and go like knockout game or something, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, like basically force game with Shaman. Bench Shaman EX. And then if you find another grass, you'll do 2 for 6 8. You'll take the knockout, which is fine. Yeah. Twins. And I've only got 1 Prism Energy left in my deck, so I want to make sure I grab that. Sure. With Twins, I'll get Prism Energy and Metal Energy. Attach Prism Energy to Shaman EX and Metal Scissors for knockout.
Draw for turn. If I do that, Juniper.
Okay. Digging for that basic grass energy.
Attach. Well, that doesn't really. 5180. Attach. Mewtwo. Portrait.
Uh-oh.
I'll N.
Yeah. Man! Why doesn't this deck play a Smeargle? That'd be sick. I guess you play Virizion for double draw instead. Okay, so my Scizor is going down. And basically I just have this Shaman to try and clean up. I need to find an energy, which is why I twinsed for the Prism last turn to make sure that I guaranteed had that, because that'd be the hardest one to find. Okay, you get 2 and I get 3.
Treat. And X ball for knockout.
Okay. Scizor goes down. Promote Shaman. Draw. Holy smokes, this deck. Oh, how is this hand so bad? Come on. Bro, come on, man. Nothing, dude. You weren't supposed to use my N against me.
I was trying to figure out if there was a play that I could Celebration Wind and attack with Energy Bloom to remove the 30. But like I had to knock out the Scizor, so it didn't matter anyway.
You did, yeah. Pass.
Draw. Double colorless. X ball for knockout.
Oh, there it is. No, I was 1 card short. I can't believe it. Oh man, I totally have that game if I just have the other energy there. That's so sad. Wow. Both of my top decks, Sage's Training and Metal Energy. You're a sack, dude.
I'll take it. I mean, that just like shows you how strong Mewtwo is, that you can just
I know.
do that.
I know. I had it all planned out. I was doing everything right. Oh, it hurts. Well, anyways, I think that was a really good example of how hard it is to play against Mewtwo without your own Mewtwo.
Oh yeah.
Like, you saw, like, even though I had a lot of things going for me, Scizor's red armor stops special energy from damaging you. I've got item lock. I've got Pokemon that can resist Mewtwo, like Darkrai, right? But then you were able to whip up a tracking out of nowhere, and under item lock, I was not expecting that. It was really tough. Yeah, that was a real tough matchup. But I think it was also a real thinker. I mean, there were a lot of plays where we were really like contemplating what our next move was, and that was it was really satisfying to play.
Oh yeah, no, it felt like a great match. I mean, it was like back and forth the entire time.
100%. And of course, as games usually did, came down to the final end, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? With N and X ball, anything is possible. For sure.
The Smeargle, oh, loved him.
Oh, the Smeargle. I know, right? Used my N.
I mean, it's crazy because like I could play my own Juniper to draw 7, and then it's like, okay, now I can disrupt you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was tough for sure. That was a really good game, though, definitely. And I was thinking that I could do the full sweep with Shaman. I mean, everything was set up to be able to do it. I would have been able to do 180 damage since you were only. Dang, that's crazy. GG's, though. GG's. You said you were kind of interested in playing the Entei deck, huh?
Ish.
I could be interested in playing the Entei deck. Is there any other deck here that interests you?
I'll play the Entei.
You could play Entei.
Yeah.
Or let's see. Let's take a look at the decks that we have. We've got Entei. We've got Darkrai Mewtwo, which is just kind of like Darkrai Mewtwo,
very typical.
CMT, and like Mewtwo Eels were like your big three, like during that time. I think. I'd be down to just play like a real meta matchup, like Mewtwo Eels versus Darkrai Mewtwo.
Sure.
And just kind of do some crazy like Mewtwo wars back and forth. All right, sweet.
I'll do Eels.
You'll do Eels. I'll do Darkrai Mewtwo. All right.
Eels.
Sweet. That sounds good. Before we get into our next set, though, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to be showing off 2 of the best meta decks from the 2012 World Championships. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to check out fullgripgames.com during this quick break. And use the link in the commands for dragonshield.com to help support my partnership with Dragon Shield and support the channel. We will be right back.
feels right. Yeah.
Professor N.
Yo, what's up? We're back. Thank you for being here. Zeely was just chatting me up saying that he thinks this is a bad matchup for him. I offered to switch decks.
I chose this one. I got all late with it.
I know I could. Yo, the electrics are broken. But yeah, I do think that Darkrai Mewtwo Terrakion was like largely considered to be the best deck during this era because you just had all the most broken cards in it.
Yeah, I mean, even with the I have the Raikou EX in here and like Zekrom, you could just knock those out with the Terrakion also.
Yeah, this deck's pretty good, and we're about to see why.
Oh yeah.
These are two of the best decks from this era, though. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I think Mewtwo Electric did something. Let me go to PTCGlegends.com and see what did it do. Events, Worlds, 2012 results. Okay. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the top 8 at World Championships this year it was just all Darkrai Mewtwo. Uh-huh. But if you go to major events, 2012 Nationals. No. 2012 Nationals. U.S. Nationals. Results. See? Kevin Nance. Mewtwo Eels, second place.
What is the one next to number 4? What is that Pokemon?
That is Celebi.
Oh, okay.
Mewtwo Celebi. Yeah. Yeah, so Mewtwo Eels got second place at US Nats in 2012. And then did not show up to Worlds.
Yo, how many placements does that have going down?
Does what have?
17, 18. Does it go to top 32?
Yes.
Oh yeah, go to 2013.
Go to 2013. What you trying to see at 2013, Zeely? what you trying to see? U.S. national results.
Oh.
Oh, well. If we don't have Michael Zeely right there, 28th place. Few know. 2013. What did you play here?
Plasma.
There you go.
Natalie gave me her entire Plasma deck to play that weekend, and then I put in a Tornadus EX in there.
Would you lose 2 in your top 32? Because this is back when top 32 bracketed off, right?
I lost to someone called Edmund Curris.
Oh, yeah.
Just the winner.
Oh,
yeah,
just the winner. You lost to the dude who won. That's right.
It was so sick. I was like, if I'm going to lose, might as well be to him.
You're playing Gothitella Selgor. That's crazy. So Natalie lent you this deck, and then you... Dang, they got the top 64 here.
I beat Ross Coffin in top 64.
Holy smokes, Vance Kelly. I know this guy. He just won Worlds. Vance Kelly, top 64, 2013 Nats. Dude's been playing for a long time.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so sick. That's so sick. Dang, that's crazy. You said you beat who in
Ross Coffin? He was playing.
Oh my gosh.
He was playing. Fluffy Chomp.
Fluffy Chomp, dude. Yeah, that's so sick, dude. Dang. There you go.
Yeah, there's some real old heads in that list right there.
I'd say so. That's pretty wild. I did not know that. Very fun. All right. Well, Michael Seeley. Now I know. Top 32. I knew you had a deep Nats run one year. I didn't know exactly what year it was. What was the year you scooped to Kyle Sablehouse? Are you the guy that scooped Kyle Sukovic?
That was also 2013. That was in the last chance for points.
That's right.
Michael Zeal.
Michael Zeal. All right. So we've got a real top meta matchup. We'll be showing off Darkrai Mewtwo Terrakion versus Mewtwo Electric. And I think that we're going to get to see the just the high velocity gameplay that came to define the 2012 World Championship era during this match. So excited for that. Let's get into it.
I'll take heads, please.
Tails it is. I'll go first. Good luck. Let's take a look here. Unfortunately, I've got Juniper, but no other Pokemon, nothing really going on here. So I feel like N makes the most sense. Using Juniper to discard Dark Patch and double colorless seems really bad, but maybe I'm just a softie. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the N, though. Attach Darkness and N. Seems like the safer play.
I think so. I mean, you're going first as well, so you're not really in a rush at the moment.
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I could get if I really drew it, drew Flames, I could get the turn 1 Night Spear, but it's probably not happening.
You're asking for a lot.
I am asking for a lot. Maybe if you get like Juniper, 2 Darkness Energy, 2 Darkrai in play, like maybe then, But with a hand like that, discarding a Dark Patch, nah, it's not happening. We each get 6. Okay. Eviolite to Darkrai EX. And pass to you.
Draw for turn. Dual Ball.
Double tails. Come on, man.
I'm trying. Junk Arm, Lightning, and N. Dual Ball.
You got a double heads coming right up.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I would have been upset if I got double tails 3 times in a row.
Yeah, that would have been ridiculous.
So I will grab 40 hit point Dynamo and both 40 hit point Dynamos. It's really all I want to do right now. Don't want to put down Mewtwo too early. So I'll get both Dynamos and lay those down. Now, there was a free retreat 30 hit point Dynamo as well, but I don't believe this deck played that. I don't think many decks played that at the time because of how prominent Darkrai was.
Yeah, just Night Spear bait.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
And then I will portrait.
Go fish.
Cool. Professor Oak's new theory. Now, one tactic that I thought was really interesting at the time was, so you had that random receiver in there.
Yep.
I believe it was Tom Dolezal. He only played, I think, like 4 Juniper and 4 random receiver. So that way when his opponent would portrait him, he would get nothing.
Exactly. That was actually a strategy, using very little supporters, just relying on your own Smeargle to copy your opponents, and then denying your opponent their own Smeargles because you never had a supporter in your hand.
I mean, because a lot of decks just relied on it to like get stuff.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whew. That is a rough hand. So I will pass to you.
Draw. Okay. Top deck the Juniper. Do I want to go for an N instead? Getting rid of the Dark Patch is not super fun, but I can just get rid of it because I could Junk Arm for it. It's fine. Play plus power. And Juniper. Discard the Darkness Energy. Draw 7. Alright. So we got 1 Darkness down now. Bench Smeargle. Retreat into Smeargle. Dark Patch. And bench Darkrai with Eviolite. Oof. Attach, return, and portrait.
Go fish.
Ah. Wanted to play down all the cards just in case there was a Juniper. And it's like, okay, I have to, you don't want to get caught discarding cards. And then I'll pass to you.
Draw for turn. Electric. Pokemon catcher up the Darkrai.
Ooh.
Okay, that's
What giant up here?
interesting. I'm trying to think about how likely it would be that I get an attack off this turn. So I think I will portrait. Play the N.
You see how intimidating these Darkrai are. 180 hit points, psychic resistance, Eviolite. They're just really big basic Pokemon.
All right, so we both get 6.
Yep.
Play down Dynamo. Play down Mewtwo EX. Juniper.
That's so nuts. Every time you get to play 2 supporters in a turn, I'm like, wait. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yeah. That was not good. I will Dynamotor 1 to the Mewtwo. And can't search my deck for any other electric, so I will pass to you.
You didn't have an energy to attach from hand?
No, I did not.
Oof. Draw. Oh, baby. That's, okay. That's fine. Let's... Kind of ugly. Ultra Ball, discarding Juniper and Dark Patch. With Ultra Ball, I'll grab my own Mewtwo EX. Put it onto my bench. And the interesting thing about this matchup is that I don't really need to keep my energy on Mewtwo until I'm ready. So I can kind of protect it by keeping it energyless. And then when I want to load up Mewtwo, I can just use Shaman's Celebration Wind to do so. Attach double colorless energy to Darkrai EX, bench Darkrai, and Professor Juniper to discard my hand and draw 7. And not too much else going on in this hand. Use Night Spear for 90 damage and 30 damage to Mewtwo EX.
Draw for turn. Plus power. That's before, so if I did 3, 60, 80, that still wouldn't do enough. Catch up to Mewtwo.
Okay.
Dual ball. Oops.
Double tails.
Double tails. Junk arm. Dual ball.
Double
heads. Mewtwo, and don't think that really helps me at all. Let's see. Switch. I think I'll get the Smeargle. Play that down. I thought about getting another Mewtwo, but I didn't want you Night Spearing and spreading the damage around and getting that too early. Juniper.
Gotta find some energy.
Level ball. Electric.
It's crazy that this card is played in the 2012 World Championships and then also still played in the 2023 World Championships.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Flaffy is like the literally the same exact card.
Yeah, I'm really struggling to find some energy. Did I play this one this turn?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't think so. All right, I will play cards in hand.
8.
8. Dynamotor. Switch.
Go in and outrage.
Junk arm.
Yep.
For level ball.
Okay.
I'll play level ball.
The Eels are all here. It's a really satisfying looking board, I'm not gonna lie.
Super odd. So I guess I'm gonna Mewtwo, Shaman, and just a Mewtwo in the Shaman.
Yeah, gotta do 3, dude.
You do?
Uh-huh.
No. Smeargle.
Yeah. The new Super Rod says
okay,
up to.
okay.
Yeah. They just printed a new one. So the old ones are now errata in 2023, but we are playing as if it was 2012.
So I used 1 Dynamotor, and then I will Portrait.
Yeah, N Juniper Pont.
Juniper.
Okay. Looking for a double colorless.
Dynamotor.
Yep. And you've played a plus power this turn.
Yep. Do that. Retreat.
And then you even get a 3rd Dynamotor.
Oh yeah.
This is crazy. Okay.
And then I'll Dynamotor to the Smeargle.
Right. Just kind of give it that free pivot.
And then I will X-Ball for knockout.
There you go. 80 damage plus the 10 from plus power. 90 times 2, 180. And after a whole bunch of draw, the knockout is finally taken. Let's promote Darkrai EX. Draw. Okay. Sketchy because if I get out another Mewtwo right now, Zeely's winning the Mewtwo War. So it's like, well, I didn't expect you to be able to gust up and knock out my 0 energy Mewtwo from nowhere, but that happened. So now I need to play from this angle. I could go double colorless, knock out your Mewtwo, take my 2 prizes.
It's a rough situation because you have the double colorless on the active.
Yeah.
So like that just gives me another energy for my X-Ball.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeah, I mean, this damage adds up so fast. It's so nuts. All right. Bench Mewtwo, attach double colorless energy, and N. That's fine. I'll force you to do it.
So you get 5 and I get 4.
Yep. I feel like I have not seen any darkness energy this game. Like, only these 2 are the only ones I've seen. Okay. And then retreat into Mewtwo. Ultra Ball. For another Mewtwo. And X-Ball for knockout.
Draw for turn. It's a rough one.
I wanted to Ultra Ball away the Pont so that you couldn't portrait for it. That was my thought there. I was like, I gotta get the good draw supporter out of my hand so you can't steal it.
Do you know how many Super Odd this deck plays?
I could check Kevin Nance's list real quick. Give me 1 second. Major events. 2020-12 Nationals. Results.
1. Okay.
1.
It's looking rough out here. So,
because you discarded another Mewtwo. I saw you. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think about what the likelihood is that you have a supporter card in your hand that like benefits me. Because I could theoretically dual ball, try and get one, but then I don't have a follow-up to your last Mewtwo. Junk Arm. I think Electros and Smeargle. I think I have to get. I'll get Super Rod, so I'll get Mewtwo, and the Smeargle that I discarded with Junk Arm.
Okay.
For the Super Rod.
Looking at Kevin Nance's list, we got the wrong Electros in here, dude. He was playing the Wild Tackle one. This one seems cool, though. He does Slurp Shakedown.
All right. Portrait. All right, I'll take the end.
Okay, we're going to end. I get 3 and you get 4. You're hoping for one of those Mewtwo, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well.
It's a rough one. Let's see. I think that's rough though because
you go in with Zekrom, then you knock out Mewtwo with Raikou, discarding all energy from it, and then you try to figure out the last two.
You go down to that. That's fine. Triple Dynamotor. Or double Dynamotor, I guess. Yeah, double Dynamotor. Attach. Retreat. Dynamotor. Number 3. And then Bolt Strike for 120.
And 40 to yourself. Okay. Draw. Got some cards to work with off of the end of 3. I do have a damaged Mewtwo in the active who can take this knockout. At this point, the Night Spears have kind of been eluding me this game. So I don't necessarily want to... Like, I haven't been able to like really add up Night Spear damage on your Eels or anything. So it's not really worth it to do that. Guess I could retreat Night Spear for knockout. I think I just go attach Darkness Energy to Darkrai EX and X Ball for knockout.
Draw. Raikou. Triple Dynamotor. Whew. So we need to do 50. No, I'm actually not going to play down the Raikou.
Okay.
Triple Dynamotor.
To Eel!
Portrait.
Go fish.
Cool. Treat. And do I want to attach that? Kind of have to. Electric Ball for knockout.
Okay, Mewtwo goes down. Zelia at 2 prizes remaining, tying it up. Promote Smeargle and draw.
I realized with the Raikou down, you could just shaman all your energy from your Darkrai's and X-Ball my clean guy anyway.
That's what I was gonna try and do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna, and I would have gotten away with it too. All right. Let's. Okay. This kind of gnarly. It's like I want to have the safest board possible. There's nothing worth junk arming for. Can't junk arm for supporter. You could junk arm for random receiver. Okay, let's do that. Junk arm, discard Lost Remover, and switch for random receiver and play it. I reveal cards from the top of my deck until I find a supporter card. We've got N. Okay. So then, is it possible for you to... Yeah, I think I'm probably chilling. Switch into Darkrai and N. We're both going to go to 2 cards. And I basically got this fat Darkrai. I'm taking away one of your Eels. And saying you can't actually hit this knockout. I don't think. If you go double colorless, double Dynamotor, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It's 160 damage. So you still be a little bit short with the Eviolite and the resistance. So you probably got to go like Raikou EX, Paralyzed Dreams. Something like that.
Yeah.
We both get 2. And attach Darkness Energy. No, I'll hold. Night Spear for knockouts and 30 damage to Electric.
Draw for turn. Portrait. And
Tail Wrap.
Tail Wrap. For nothing.
For 0.
Yep.
And then I Night Spear for game. That's it. Yeah, N is a very powerful card.
Oh, yeah.
Format defining. And so is Mewtwo. I mean, you could just see how powerful these cards are relative to each other. Darkrai, Mewtwo, N, Juniper, Pokemon Catcher.
Not playing the Ultra Ball in here feels weird.
There's no Ultra Ball on the list. Who needs them? You got Level Ball and Dual Ball.
How am I going to... If I... Because, I mean, like, that's the cool part with Junk Arm, is you can just get your one-of trainer card, throw in the discard, and you have 4 of them.
Yeah.
But then, because it's like, I would have loved to have had a Ultra Ball or something to get the Mewtwo the one turn I whiffed it.
I think the argument against Ultra Ball is that you're already using your junk arms to like do those heavy discard plays, and your hands aren't big enough to like junk arm and Ultra Ball in the same hand.
That's fair. I mean, I get that. It's just it feels bad.
It does
when
feel
I'm,
strange
because I'm trying to dig for like an EX or something, and
Right,
I
right.
just can't get it.
for sure. It seems like it is kind of a tough matchup for you, huh?
It felt fine up until I missed the Mewtwo. Like trying to search out the Mewtwo is very hard.
Yeah.
I wish I would not have put down the. I don't think I really had a choice, but I wish I would have not had the Zekrom. Because then I could have put down 2 Mewtwo's, and it's like, oh, you knock out the first one, I have the second one, and then I just have to try and find the third one at some point.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was. I think once you like actually get the Night Spears going, it's a little rough. Knocking out my because there's no bench barrier.
No.
So then you get to start knocking out those electrics, and it's a little rough.
Exactly. All right. Let's try this again.
I'll go first.
Sounds good to me.
Good luck. Draw. Level ball. Gonna grab the Tynamo. Gonna see what else I have in there. So I have 2 Tynamo so far. 3 Tynamo. Looks like 2 Mewtwo. So I think 3 Mewtwo. Okay, we're chilling. So I'll grab the Tynamo with the level ball. Mewtwo. I think I'm gonna. Oh, I get to play as supporters. That's cool. Junk Arm, Lightning, and Random Receiver for the level ball. I'll grab another Tynamo while I'm in there. A really cool interaction is, I don't think we'll probably see it, but with the Tynamo, I can do 160 to your Mewtwo and then spark it.
Or spark it preemptively.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It is cool. Setting it up. The 10 damage is very significant because bringing it from 170 to 160 means that just 80 damage will knock it out with a Mewtwo.
I do enjoy the very like small interactions like that, but like they turn out to be actually important.
For sure. I mean, this deck plays Potion. Like regular Potion.
That's so sick. Professor Oak's new theory.
Yep. Got a question in the chat about the table I'm using. It's just a warehouse table from Uline with a vinyl decal on it.
And no energy. I don't think I should. I don't think I should portrait in case you have a Juniper. And I'll pass to you.
Smart choice. I did have a Juniper.
Okay.
And nothing else. Draw. Got a real gnarly looking opening hand with Pokemon Catcher, Mewtwo EX, Double Colorless Energy, and Eviolite. Love to see that. Bench Mewtwo, attach Eviolite, and Double Colorless Energy. This feels so dirty. Pokemon Catcher, Tynamo. Juniper. Come on. Discard my hand, draw 7. Okay. No switch yet. see about moving this thing, which could end up punishing me if I don't find one. Ultra Ball 2 Darkness Energy. And I definitely want to grab a Darkrai. With the Ultra Ball, I'll get Darkrai EX. And put it onto my bench. Love to Ultra Ball away 2 Darkness Energy. That's the dream. Now my Dark Patches are live. Okay. And there's nothing else really worth playing. Eviolite's good. Attach Eviolite from my hand to Darkrai EX. Bench Mewtwo and Portrait. Got Juniper. I'll take Juniper. Discard my hand and draw 7. No switch. But I do have 2 Dark Patch to play. So I can attach 2 Darkness Energy from my discard pile to my Darkrai EX. And unfortunately, my turn comes to a close here. So I'll pass to you.
Draw for turn. Evolve into electric. Play down Mewtwo. Junk Arm, the Smeargle, and the Professor Oak's New Theory. For Level Ball. And I'll play Level Ball. I'll grab a Dynamo. Now, what I'm hoping for is something to knock out your Mewtwo.
Yeah, I mean, what is it going to take? Double colorless. You kind of need a Dynamo or 2.
3 energy.
Yeah. 3 energy will do it regardless, because the Eviolite's after weakness and resistance. So you would do 200 minus 20. The double colorless plus power won't work with Eviolites.
I think I've kind of resigned to the fact that I need the switch anyway, so I can evolve and then Juniper.
Yep.
Did not get it, so
Just a couple of fellows hanging out
Oh,
with
yeah.
the wrong guy in the active spot.
attached to the Mewtwo. Double colors. 4. I'll attach to the Mewtwo. And pass to you.
Draw. Okay. I have the potential to build up a real scary board. Random receiver. Professor Oak's New Theory. I was like, I don't want that. Let's keep drawing. You have to pick the first one you find. Okay, how many cards are in your hand?
6.
6. Huh. Really want... I'll find a switch. Totally. Attach Darkness Energy to Darkrai EX. And Professor Oak's New Theory. for 6 big ones. Huh. That's slow and steady wins the race, you know? We did not find the switch. Here's the difficult decision where I'm like, okay, do I go for Portrait? But what if there's only a Juniper in there? And then I have to discard this hand. That's fine. No pain, no gain. Bench Mewtwo. Portraits. Nothing. Pass.
Level ball.
Yeah.
Shaman. Thin the deck a bit. I wish I would have. I was really hoping you would knock out the eel.
I got my Mewtwo ready to go, though. They're all here.
Attach. And pass to you.
Okay. Well, now I really want to find a Pokemon catcher, you know? Man.
I think you could go. Well, no, because you still need the switch card.
Or I could just retreat, but then this darkness energy is on this miracle forever. That's
well, you have
fine.
Shaman, so you're fine.
I do, yeah.
I think that's the correct play to just guarantee it.
I agree. But then, oh, it's so cringe, though. All right. Darkness energy is Smeargle and bench Darkrai N. And to go from a format that was like all evolutions and stuff and attacking stage 2s to a format where your board looks
to this is so crazy.
It all happened so fast. This is 2 sets worth of EXs. You had Noble Victories, Dark Explorers, or not Noble Victories. You had I always get those two.
Next
confused.
Destinies.
You had Next Destinies and Dark Explorers. That's it.
I mean, that's the funny. This is one set of black and white.
Sheesh. All right. We both get 6. Okay. That's fine. Retreat into Darkrai for free using Dark Cloak. And Night Spear for knockout and 30 damage to the Dynamo.
Draw for turn. Let's see. Play it on Mewtwo. Pokemon catcher, the Mewtwo with the double colorless.
Yeah.
N.
All right, so what do you need to take this knockout?
Double colorless and switch.
That's it.
I had the switch in hand, but I would not have been able to portrait.
Right, it's kind of weird.
Because I would have either discarded it or shuffled it back in.
Right. So you have to wait.
So I'm kind of hoping I could hit the double colorless off the N and then portrait.
Or just hit them both right here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It's very awkward. So I can I guess Dynamotor first. Not gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Super Rod.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go back in.
Mm-hmm.
Junk Arm. For Level Ball.
Oh, that's cool.
Grab the Electric.
Mm-hmm. Could also Max Potion that if you...
The other card is in my hand as a switch.
Ah, okay.
Now it's still, it still is weird because I have to Portrait.
Yep.
Let's see. One of the big things about this format was counting Junk Arm. So I only have, that would be, yeah, that would not be good. So, Evolve. Don't believe I have another energy in there.
No. That would have been nice.
Let's see. Portrait.
You've got N and Juniper.
Gonna Juniper.
Okay. Need energy and Junk Arm or energy and Switch?
Attach. Switch.
There you go.
And I will X-Ball for knockout.
Okay, Mewtwo goes down. Oh boy. That's fine. Promote Smeargle. Draw for turn. Now, I'm up game 1. I'm thinking about trying to just take out the Eels and stuff with Night Spear, kind of see how that plays out. I feel like the Mewtwo War very much benefits Zeely, but taking out the engine seems pretty good. So, Pokemon Catcher, Electric. And N. Problem with this line of play is that I'll leave myself a little vulnerable, but that's fine. Leave myself a little vulnerable to a huge Mewtwo. But we'll see how it goes. All right? Gotta live a little. Okay. Attach Darkness Energy to Darkrai. Eviolite. Retreat. And Night Spear for knockout, 30 damage to the Electric.
Cards in hand.
4.
4. Draw. Dynamo. Double Carless.
Uh-oh.
Juniper.
Yeesh.
Max Potion.
Ah! There's so many Max Potions!
Pokemon Catcher up a Mewtwo.
Ah!
Dual Ball.
Yeah. Double heads. Oh my goodness. I am getting so punished for this line. It's cool though.
Dual Ball.
Uh-huh.
Double Tails. And X Ball for knockout.
Okay, Mewtwo goes down. So you lead 2 prizes remaining. Promote Smeargle and draw. Okay, that's bad. Yeah, it's not good. It's like not what you want. It's all good. How many cards in hand?
Whew. 7.
7, yeah. It's a few. Okay. Junk Arm. You ever Junk Arm 2 Dark Patch away? Junk Arm. For Random Receiver. And Plant. Okay, Juniper. Huh. Portrait. Nothing. All right, let me see what you got though. You got a Junk Arm for Catcher. Okay, yeah, you got Energy. Yeah, you do. Okay, you got Sky Arrow. And you got Electric. That's pretty much checkmate. Okay, let's see. That's not good. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeesh. Yeah, I think I'm done. All right, you're good. Junk Arm. Random Receiver.
You really want that end.
Random Receiver again. All right. Play end. Oh, man. Needed that. Okay, and myself to 4 and you to 2. And now we ask ourselves the big question. You ain't got it, bro. X ball for knockout.
X Ball for knockout.
And that's a Mewtwo war. All right. Game 3. Let's go. So, I mean, we really saw that deck was able to go on the aggressive that game. And 5 energy was way easier to get than you might have thought.
Oh, yeah. With the double colorless energies, it just, yeah. I think you, in your position, you don't just throw a bunch of Mewtwo's on the bench. I think the whole point is you just do 1 for 1.
I think I learned my lesson the hard way that game. All right. I was like, he won't have it. And also, like, I usually won't bench Mewtwo early, but I wanted to knock out Dynamo turn 1. So I was like going for that. It's cool. Game 3, I'm going to be a little bit more careful, I think.
It is very funny. Like, they definitely learned their lesson with the Mewtwo's. Or, like, Tapu Lele specifically said, do not apply weakness.
Do not apply weakness. I know, right? Yeah. The Mewtwo style, it's so crazy how much the card snowballs. Like, looking at a Mewtwo, like, with 5 energy on it, I'm like, I can't just go up and Night Spear that. I'll get eaten alive. Like, all you need is, like, another double colorless and it's over, right? So,
I think I would have only done 160 because you had Eviolite and Resistance.
Yeah.
So I would have needed to find a way to Dynamotor and double colorless.
Probably wasn't happening, but right. But still, the Mewtwo, it just adds up so fast. When you're just stacking double colorless energies onto them, it's just an obscene amount of damage. But kind of fun and satisfying too. Games are over real quick, or boom, boom, boom. I'm happy I'm not playing this format anymore, but fun to revisit.
Oh, I could do. I'd be fine with it.
I know you would. Oh, I know you would. All right, I'm going first. Yeah. This is so silly. Good luck.
Good luck.
Draw. Okay. Plus power. Plus power. Bench Smeargle. Juniper. Dang it. What the heck, dude? Bench Darkrai. Darkness Energy. Free Retreat with Dark Cloak. And bench Darkrai. Eviolite to Mewtwo. Portrait. I will Professor Oak's new theory. All right, double dark patch. Switch. Shaman. Yeah. That's it right here. That's the hand.
You want to? Ooh, okay.
That's not happening. Okay. That's fine. Eviolite. Eviolite. Just make those guys really thick.
I need like a startling megaphone.
Pass to you.
Draw for turn. Dynamo. Sky Arrow. That's a tough one. Professor X new theory.
Yep.
At least if you're going to get it next turn, I want you to work for it.
The fun thing about me playing so irresponsibly in Game 2 was you got to see the Mewtwo Wars. That's what you always hear, Mewtwo Wars, but you never actually get to see them. Game 2 was like quintessential Mewtwo Wars. Like, I knock out your Mewtwo with my Mewtwo, you knock out my Mewtwo with your Mewtwo. And now we're kind of playing Mewtwo Chicken.
Level Ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'll grab Dynamo.
I think that makes sense.
Smeargle. Attach, retreat. Which feels kind of bad. Do I want to bring up the Darkrai? Yeah, I'll bring up the Darkrai.
Okay.
And then Portrait.
You got a Juniper.
Cool.
Which makes sense, yeah. So you get to use the catcher to at least disrupt a little bit.
Level Ball. Dynamo. Yeah, that's fine. Dynamo. And I believe it's a pass to you.
Alrighty. Draw. Two darkness energy already in the discard pile. That's pretty good. I think. Let's go. Yeah. That's fine. Annoying, but fine. Well, I'd like to find Dark Patch and then Celebration Wind instead of just doing Celebration Wind now, but Darkness Energy to Darkrai. And I think cards in hand.
6.
6. Sure. Professor Oak's new theory. I can afford to play a little bit slowly. Save that resource. See if I can find Dark Patch and then Shaman back. And if I can do that, then I can Night Spear this turn, which would be good. 6. Yeah, we're gonna fat nothing. Let's see. 3 DCE down if you have a Juniper in that hand is kind of gnarly. Retreat into Smeargle. Dark Patch. Who needs double colorless energy anyway? Portrait? Nothing. Okay, see, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. And pass to you.
Draw for turn. Attach. Or evolve to electric. Before. So I will attach. 6180. Okay. I believe that's knockout. Plus power.
Yeah.
Junk arm. Plus power.
Sheesh.
Dynamotor. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I have the second for the catcher, but I'm just
take it all back.
Yeah.
For the catcher.
Yeah.
0 card hand.
Yeah. I got way ahead of myself on that one.
All right, start with evolve into electric.
Yeah.
All right.
I definitely want to evolve into electric. And then yeah, this hand is not good. So I could do that. Yeah, it'd be 10 short if I... Because I have 1 plus power, so that would put me at 180.
Minus 20.
Yeah, minus 20, so 160. I could theoretically... If I had another lightning in here, that'd be fine, but I don't. Yeah, that sucks. Junk arm, lightning, and I think I just have to go for the plus power, get rid of that. I'll grab the level ball, and I'll play the level ball.
Sure.
Electric. Raikou. Dynamotor. Attach. Yeah. Portrait. Yeah, it's not looking too good, huh?
Both kind of just chilling.
Retreat. If you didn't have the Eviolite on there, I would have sparked, but that
Yeah.
doesn't do anything. So I will
Hold on.
use Raikou's first attack.
I'm guessing Thunderfang. Give me a second here.
I think it is that, because it's
Oh, yeah.
So I'll Thunderfang, flip a coin. If heads, you're paralyzed. So you're not paralyzed, and you take 30 damage.
Draw? Okay. Lost Remover. Send that to the Lost Zone. Goodbye. Double colorless energy to Darkrai. Pokemon Catcher Electric. And retreat for free using Sky Arrow. And Night Spear for knockout, 30 damage to the Mewtwo.
Draw for turn. Portrait. Pass to you.
No. Draw. Woo-wee! Dark Patch. On the Darkrai. Potion to heal my Smeargle.
Yeah, I think you're fine to just put it on the Darkrai because you can just shaman it later.
I know. Double colorless energy onto Darkrai and Juniper for 7 big ones. And bench Darkrai, Night Spear for knockout, and 30 damage to Raikou.
I think you just start picking at the Eels and the Dynamos.
Man, I got burned by Max Potion, bro. Last game. I'm not. No, put it here, dude. Absolutely not.
Draw for turn. Attach. Retreat. Thunderfang.
Heads.
Paralyzed. So 10 damage.
Yeah. Not a lot of switch cards in these decks. Ultra Ball away Smeargle and N. For oh, Failets. Gotta find a switch. Nothing here is very exciting. I've got Junk Arms, which don't do anything. Well, it's not nothing. Okay, I guess I can Junk Arm, discard randomers. Whoa, 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 whoa. Play Random Receiver. And it's not exactly what I want. Rather just power through the deck again. Another Juniper. Not trying to help your hand out any. And now I'll Junk Arm, discard N and Max Potion for another Random Receiver. Use that. Hello, buddy. And there we go. That is what I want. Oh, he's still paralyzed.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. And Professor Juniper. Discard my hand, draw 7, looking for a switch. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like you didn't get it.
I'm stuck. Dark Patch. Never mind, I cannot do that. There are no darkness energy there. It's fine. I'll pass to you.
Draw for turn. Super Rod. Juniper.
Yep.
Dynamo. It doesn't really do anything. Attach. And I will...
You have to like Volt Bolt and then hope you hit a max potion.
Yeah. I'm trying to... I don't think it really matters catching up anything.
Probably not.
Yeah, I feel like I probably just want to save that for later.
Yeah.
I will Volt Bolt to discard all energy attached to my Raikou, and I'll do 100 damage to the Darkrai.
Cool. Draw. Now, the problem with hitting the non-evioletted Darkrai is that you open the door for this play, which is Junk Arm, discard Darkness Energy, and Mewtwo.
The Max Potion, yeah.
For Max Potion. Ugh, right. Yeah. Do that. Completely heal the Darkrai. Then I can Dark Patch.
I feel like it didn't quite matter as much because you just, like, you could always just shaman your energy around, move it to the Mewtwo.
It's true. It's true.
I feel like that's probably what you do now anyway, and then start building up a second Mewtwo.
That's probably about where we're at. I don't really have any... Well, I don't know how many supporters I have left in this deck. Let's see. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3. I have some supporters left. It's not 0. Nah, I'll save a turn. All right. Catcher Up Electric. And Night Spear for knockout. And I'll do 30 damage to Dynamo.
Draw for turn. I'll catch her at Mewtwo.
Okay.
Juniper. Four cards in hand?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to do something. Portrait. N.
Yep.
Someone in the chat is saying you can Aqua Patch a reversal energy from your discard to your bench. I don't think that's true.
It's just not true.
Yeah, same thing with the special metal.
Nope. Yep. You cannot do that.
5, 6. I'm a stage 1 professor. I would know. Evolve into electric. Well, I don't even know. Pass.
Draw. Okay. I'm kind of just chilling. Darkness energy to Smeargle. Retreats. And Night Spear for knockout and 30 damage to electric.
Draw for turn.
Alright, pause the game. I'm getting one guide right now. Alright, Ursa Major. No, Aqua Patch doesn't say it has to be basic energy. However, if you read any special energy ever, they all say they only count as those kinds of energy when they're attached to Pokemon. So, they don't count as those kinds of energy when they're in the discard pile. So therefore, you can't Aqua Patch those.
Yeah, also Aqua Patch says attach a water energy, and Reversal explicitly says it is not until it's attached to a Pokemon.
Right, they all say that. Yeah, they all say that. They all say that they count as those energy when attached to Pokemon. Right. And they say that for that reason. All right, here we go. Carry
on. Let's see. Smeargle. Double Colorless. Dynamotor. Plus Power. Catcher the Mewtwo.
Okay.
Juniper. Three. All right. Junk Arm, Zekrom, and Dual Ball for plus power.
Okay.
Switch. Mewtwo. Portrait.
Nothing.
I was really hoping you'd have an N in there. Retreat.
Yep.
And then X Ball for knockout.
Okay. This is kind of... Oh, yeah, no, I'm actually fine. Promote Darkrai. Draw.
Yeah, then
Catch up Dynamo.
Yeah.
And Night Spear for a double knockout in game. Let's go. But...
Yeah,
that's how it goes. I think that you were right from the onset that this is probably a tough matchup for Mewtwo Electric. It seems like I can very much be in control of when the Mewtwo's come out. We saw, in that last game, I didn't really put out a lot of Mewtwo's. I mean, granted, you were kind of drawing not so great, but Darkrai can just kind of overwhelm the board. And if you don't have a huge Mewtwo to answer Darkrai or like start the trade in that way, then you're kind of just in an unfavorable position. But then again, if you can, pounce on a Mewtwo early like you were able to in game 2, then you can just race to the finish line and I have to respond to Mewtwo with Mewtwo, and that's the trade you want.
And then like with the Pokemon catchers and Junk Arms, you're basically playing 8 Pokemon catcher if you need to. So with the Darkrai's, you're just knocking out all my Eels, which I need to set up, as well as taking 1 to 2 prizes with those every time because you're spreading the damage. So it did not feel very good.
It is. It's kind of a funny format because you've got these like extremely powerful broken cards, these extremely bloated, powerful attackers, but then your draw options are explosive in some ways. You can use 2 supporters a turn with Smeargle. Some of that's random because you don't know what you're getting into, and you saw sometimes when Smeargle doesn't hit, then you're
sitting there, you're like,
you're passing.
well.
But then once you get cooking, you're like, all right, Dark Patch, shaming all my energy over here, Pokemon Catcher, knockout, Junk Arm, plus power, so it very much feels like a stop and go format.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, go. Okay, end to 2, stop.
And you're like, well, what now?
Yeah. So definitely fun to play though, and it was a good time bringing back some of these old cards from 2012 and giving them a spin. So all in all, after playing 2012 today, Zealy, how do you feel about this format, the gameplay, the interaction with your with your 2023 mind looking back?
It definitely feels very like Luxacky, where you're like, okay, I can end my opponent, and then one Junk Arm accesses so much of their deck that they need. Random Receiver is very funny. I think that card would be a lot of fun in Standard. Could probably see a lot of Lost Zone decks just being like 4 Random Receiver, 4 Colress.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. But I mean, looking back at it, it's very nostalgic for me. I think that's about like where the nostalgia ends, because when the black and white or when the X and Y stuff comes out, I'm like, I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I definitely prefer it compared to like today's format. That's how I feel about it. Like 3 prizers, 2 prizers should have never been made. Like 3 prizers, those should especially not have been made. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely the Mewtwo Wars, not as fun. I think 2011, before Next Destinies came out, was like amazing Pokemon, like peak Pokemon. But I don't know, it's always fun to go back and just venture through it and like get a perspective on it that I have like now with the current stuff.
Exactly. Well, you've been playing the Pokemon trading card game for for a long time, since the Diamond and Pearl era. So we'll have to have you back on to do some retro decks again sometime, if that's something you'd be interested in.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about it. I need to start like collecting like the Infinity Stones. Like I've done the Junior, Senior, and Master Division. Been a vendor at a tournament. I've been a volunteer. So now I need to do like a judge and make my way, get all of them.
It's on everything.
Everything.
Yeah, that's sick. Well, I had a blast playing these, these 2012 decks today. We're going to get to work. I got some video stuff to edit up. But thank you so much for tuning in. And hopefully you all have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow with some more Pokemon trading card game live stuff. And I think we'll be getting Zealy in the regular rotation to do some retro, standard, whatever with us. So you can expect to see Michael Zealy back. Yeah. At least a couple times a month probably from here on out. So excellent stuff. Thanks again, Zealy.
Of course.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Make sure to check out fullgripgames.com for all the best Pokemon trading card game singles and sealed products. And also use the link in the description, in the chat. I mean, if you're on YouTube, it'll be in the description. In the chat to go to dragonshield.com, their U.S. web store. If you click that link, it very much helps me out and my partnership with Dragon Shield right now. I'm going to be using that link for a couple of months here. And they've got a huge summer sale going on right now. 20% off your first order over $100. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. See ya.